I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
Arabian Nights, like Arabian days. More often than not, are hotter than hot in a lot of good ways.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and this is my review for the live-action remake of Aladdin. This film stars Will Smith, Mina Musaad, Naomi Scott, and is directed by Guy Ritchie. Now, Aladdin is my all-time favorite animated film, so I was very skeptical going into this film, also understanding the fact that they waited so long for the first reviews to be officially released. Heard a lot of mixed things, and the trailers have not gotten me hooked. But I've got to say, this movie was great. It was great. It was wonderful. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Now, it's not as good as the animated movie, and I didn't have that expectation that it would be, but man, is this movie fun, and it's very entertaining, and it gives you all of those nostalgic factors that you want in an Aladdin film. It also gives you some new stuff, which I really enjoyed as well. So this movie, Aladdin, obviously follows the adventures of a thief named Aladdin, who finds a lamp that is the home of a genie who grants him 3 magical wishes, and he wants to win the love of his life, Jasmine, by becoming a prince. It's the same exact story that you see in the animated film. It's done differently in this movie, but a lot of it is to a fantastic effect. Now, I want to jump out with some of the negatives, because I want to do negatives first this time. There's some nitpicky things that I don't like. Number one, Guy Ritchie does these things in this film a couple times where he has slow motion shots, which I kind of thought was a little out of place and a little out of character for an Aladdin film. And I could have done without those. And so it took me out of the movie for a couple seconds when those scenes were happening and when he kind of slowed it down. I wish that he didn't do that because I was so engaged, so enriched in kind of what was happening with Aladdin that when he slowed the scenes down, it just kind of made it feel like a little bit of an editing mess. And it felt like the film was kind of just trying to be something that it wasn't, which is like it was trying to have heavy action, if that makes sense. I didn't appreciate the slow motion scenes. Jafar in this movie, the guy who played him was terrible. I felt like Jafar was so wooden, so evil to be evil for evil's sake. There was really just no depth to his character. I mean, he was very one note the entire time. I would have loved to have seen maybe a little deeper of a performance. And not to say the actor's bad. He's not bad. It's just the material he was given here, it came off as very wooden and very one note. As opposed to like Luke Evans, who played Gaston in Beauty and the Beast. There was a lot of depth to that character, and Luke Evans played such a fantastic role in that film. But Jafar, for me, was kind of just like on the side. Every time Jafar was in the film, I kind of got a little bit annoyed just because he had the same voice, the same complexion, and everything was pretty much wooden. It was wooden, it was flat, and just it did not deliver. Now, a lot of people have been kind of mixed on the portrayal of Aladdin by Mana Musaad. I will say this. There are times where Mana Musaad does a fantastic job. He does his own version of Aladdin. But there are also those times where he copies a lot of the animated film. Now, that worked for the animated movie, but translating it onto the big screen in live action, it did not work. And it kind of also, again, took me out of the film just a little bit and kind of made me reflect on the character of Aladdin in the animated film, which I prefer him in the animated film. Now, let's go with the positives. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. You probably don't. My animated character crush. Now, it's weird to even say that, but when I was a kid, I was obsessed and in love with Jasmine. I was in love with her. I mean, she is beautiful in the animated film, and Naomi Scott, man, does she deliver. She is beautiful in this movie, and it made me just fall in love with Jasmine all over again. And Naomi Scott does a fantastic job. Her singing range is incredible. And she really brings a lot of depth to this character of Jasmine that we didn't quite see from the animated film. The animated film hints at certain things, but this movie really kind of shows those things as opposed to kind of just like putting it in the background. This is up in the foreground. So I really liked what she did with Jasmine. I also really liked Will Smith as the genie. I know a lot of people gave him crap because of the trailer, but you know what? I thought he did a fantastic job. He was different from Robin Williams' original. But he also paid homage and respect to the original genie who was Robin Williams. And I like what they did with the genie in this movie. They do some different things that I didn't expect, and the payoff at the end is actually really nice. So the genie is really the main character in the centerfold of this film. I felt like when the genie's in the movie, this movie was more entertaining, it was more hilarious, and it had some of the best sequences in this film. My favorite sequence being the Jasmine and Prince Ali interaction for the first time. I love that scene. Definitely watch it. You'll have a great time with it. But Will Smith does some incredible stuff with the genie in this film. I also really, of course, I love the music. The music's great. The set pieces are fantastic. My only issue with costume, and I love the costumes, but everything was so polished, and it was too polished, that it didn't feel real. It felt like they were on an actual movie set. But other than that, guys, this is a movie that is just such a blast. I loved it. I cannot wait to see it again, and I'll definitely be buying this on 4K when it comes out, because I love this film. Not as good as the animated film, but man, did this movie do justice to the animated film. I really loved it. So definitely go check out Aladdin. Bring your kids. It is a fun time at the theater. Anyway, guys, that is my review for Aladdin. Let me know below down in the comments what you thought of Aladdin. Make sure you guys like this video. Subscribe to my channel right now for more content just like this. I will be having 2 more reviews up this weekend. Anyway, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.